Good day. My name is Lebum Tembu, and this is Africa Talks Business, live at the ESG Conference at the Sandton Convention Center. We are currently joined by Ms. Clarissa Muir, lecturer at the University of Johannesburg. Ms. Muir, thank you so much for your time.
Only a pleasure.
Thank you. What do you hope will come out of this conference?
Firstly, I think the conference is exceptionally relevant because of where sustainability and ESG is.
Yeah.
And if anything, it is connections and more knowledge about the field. Secondly, obviously the engagement of youth. So a lot of young people in the room and just getting engagement going and getting excitement going about the field of sustainability and the relevance of it within business and then how we measure it using ESG frameworks.
Right. Why do you think ESG is so important for the economy?
I think it's almost a non-negotiable.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it is profit with purpose. It is not profit or purpose of a business. And the only way that we are going to bring about social change is if businesses get involved with the communities that they work within so that they can have that social impact.
Yes.
And obviously that is then done through their environmental, their social and their governance challenge or initiatives. So absolutely crucial in terms of relevance.
Right. I'm curious to know, do ESG policies exist within government? And if not, how do we bring the ESG policies and the government policies closer together?
Well, I'm not too sure that it exists within all environments, never mind just government, and that is the challenge.
Yes.
So you've got to remember that the relevance of ESG comes in integrated reporting.
Yes.
And integrated reporting is something that happens with listed entities, etc. But what leaves me extremely excited is the fact that I'm seeing a lot of non-listed companies and NGOs starting to report on the integrated reporting, including the E, the S, and the G components, rather than just their annual reports. So I'm not too sure that government, like you say. I know it is a directive. I mean, we literally, from business side, we know that it's got to happen. But government is a different kind of system. So once again, it takes time, but it is being adopted obviously throughout, which leaves me very excited about the future.
Nice. Well, speaking to you as a lecturer, how important do you think it is to incorporate ESG into the coursework? Is this something that you've already been doing? And if not, do you plan on incorporating it?
Absolutely. So we have actually brought it into our undergraduate and our postgraduate courses.
Yes.
And I have made this competition linked to this conference part of the curriculum. So I made sure that all the students had got the brief and had entered the competition. And it became part of their assessments. So they marked on it and they get feedback on it. And going forward, it's just being integrated extensively. There's no turning back on this one.
Right. What do you think are the top ESG risks that, well, not just Africa, but the world itself is currently facing? And how do we go about addressing those?
I think not just risk, but also the challenge is the fact that there is no singular framework. So we're literally adopting frameworks within contexts and making them try and work for those contexts. But at the end of the day, it is, it's in some instances can become very generic.
Yeah.
So the environmental stuff we report on in this way, and social in this way, and governance in this way. So yeah, I think in terms of the ESG framework, still a lot of development. Risks, obviously, is contextual. So it depends on in which company, in which country, in which context. But I think what is important with risk is that you obviously know your context and you know your stakeholders.
Right. Well, as you know, South Africa is currently going through an energy crisis right now. What sort of impact do you think it has had on the economy?
Huge. I think with the energy crisis and the whole issue of sustainability, it's not necessarily a negative impact. Because you've got to remember, in times of crises, and I don't like the word crisis because it's a very old approach, in times of emerging situations and challenges, there's usually innovation. And that's what the outcome of this is, obviously. Is people are being challenged to be innovative. So, yeah, that's the positive. I wouldn't like to be, think of the negatives, because we know the energy crisis has brought about so many issues. But what is nice is the way that people are approaching it from a solution-based perspective. So we're also not just seeing the negative, but the positive as well.
Right. Ms. Muir, thank you so much for your time.
Great.
Thank you.
Only been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.